You know that feeling that you get during a race when you're doing your own lap time, minding your own business, and then suddenly a car appears in your rear view mirror. At first, you're like, yeah, he's still far away, no big deal. But as the race progresses, you see the car behind getting bigger and bigger in your rear view mirror. The hair at the back of your neck starts to rise, your palms get sweaty, and you start to hold onto your wheel just a little bit tighter. The pressure is on to make sure the guy behind does not get past. But is this pressure really necessary? Hello everyone, Faiz here from Races with Data. I hope you guys are doing well. So, how many of us have found ourselves in that exact same situation in sim racing? And how many of us ends up binning the car in the next couple of corners just because we spent too much time focusing on the driver behind us instead of focusing on driving? So in today's video, I want to share with you my method of deciding when I should take care about the car behind and when I should just completely ignore him and remove myself from any unnecessary pressure. For this video, I'll be using the race footage that I recorded from race 2 of SpeedTavern's Racing League, which took place a couple of days ago in Zolder. So we jump on board now to my view during the race. The scenario is, right now, is that we have some open space in front of us and that we have a Porsche who just had an incident and he rejoined behind us. So during this race, at this point in time, I am unsure about the pace of the Porsche. But one thing I do know for sure is that he is all over my rear view mirror. So obviously the pressure is on, right? Well, tip number 1, ignore the rear view mirror for the most part. The rear view mirror is there to give you spatial awareness. We can use it to see where the car behind is on track, sort of use it to determine what sort of line he is taking compared to ours. And all of this is done for the purpose of being more aware of where he could be. It should not be used as your primary tool to gauge the gap behind. So tip number 2, use the lap time and relative board found on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. So this tool is actually one of my favorite tools that I use during the race. I use it so much. I will always try to keep in mind what pace I am doing compared to the car in front and compared to the car behind. If I am lapping faster than the car behind, then I would stop worrying. Because if I continue to do the pace that I would, and after a few laps, the guy would just vanish from my rearview mirror. He's not as fast as I am. Full stop. If, on the other hand, I am lapping slower than the car behind, then I do a relatively simple calculation. In this example, the car behind is about 1.2 seconds behind us and is lapping about 0.2 to 0.3 seconds faster in the last lap. So just take a moment to stop and reflect for what this means. Right? If our pace remains the same for the next couple of laps, then it would take 6 laps for the car behind to bring that gap to 0 and overtake me. I don't know about you, but for me, 6 laps is a long time in a race. And in that space of time, anything can happen. He can be pushing himself too much trying to catch me, which would be beneficial, of course. But worse still is I can be pushing too hard just trying to make a bigger gap between myself and him, and I'm more prone to make a mistake like this. Now, newer drivers tend to do the latter and start pushing when in actuality they don't really have to. You have 6 laps, just compose yourself. Right? Tip number 3, think about your practice session. Now, looking again at this last lap time, I am doing a minute 30, 1.5 roughly. This is not the best possible time that I can do. From my practice session, I know the car can do mid 1 minute 30s easily, and that all I have to do is just to stay calm and try to do what I did in my practice session. And as you can see now, after a couple of laps, I did strung up my practice lap times, and I have now created a sufficient gap to the car behind. So this ability to just stop yourself, compose yourself, and saying, hey, I don't need to bother about the car behind is really powerful. It can stop you from taking unnecessary risks and removes a lot of pressure while you are racing. I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you do, please do leave a like, and if you enjoy contents like this, please do consider subscribing. Races with Dada is aiming to reach 100 subscribers by mid-2021, and if we do reach that milestone, I am planning to do a sort of a small giveaway to our subscribers. That is all from me today. I hope to see you again in the next video.